Lily's son, and the rest of the people will get a copy of it. So, all right, so we're recording. I was going to mention, as Meredith was talking, there's two schools of thought out there for the link in your Instagram. So if you have like an Etsy shop, I mean, I know there's a couple different Instagram accounts that I have followed and noted within our training in IMU, and they purely use their Etsy website as their link, but they do the real key. Well, first of all, Meredith and our school of thought is capture pages. So for that account, people that are like an Etsy store or whatever, we say offer a 10% or a 20% coupon off their first product, get the email address, because that way, I mean, the account that I'm speaking of has like 100,000 followers. They're probably not caring about, talking to everybody. But, if you're just have a handful of followers or even just a couple hundred or a couple thousand, you want to have that email database so that you can send out your deals and promotions via email. Every article that Meredith and I research is email marketing. It takes more effort to go and read your email and depending on the social media channel, we're talking about Instagram tonight, posts are scrolling by in seconds. You're not going to reach every one of your followers. You're just not. The way that social media works, you're not. But if you have the email address, you can talk to that person anytime you hit the button. Anytime you hit send, you can talk to somebody. And like Meredith said, if they unsubscribe, that's fine. Like she said, it's rejection-free sales. Somebody's just like, hey, I'm not interested right now. You don't even have to talk to them, and don't have to look you in the eye to unsubscribe. It's fine, And Meredith and I just went and did a huge clean out of our own database of users. We don't want to talk to people that don't want to hear from us. They're not going to buy anything from us. They're not going to engage with us in our trainings, free or otherwise. They're not going to do anything with us. So
we say that in a really nice way, because simply
they don't want
in a very
help,
nice way, because really sometimes people they'll just delete emails, right? They'll delete emails before they even give you a chance. It's not that they're trying to be mean or anything, but you actually want to remove people who are unresponsive on your email list because that'll bring down your open rate. It might go to junk or whatever. So really, at least you just want to have people who super want to hear from you. And what we've found is actually, if you're sending out one newsletter a week, it takes people about you can get the very first sales immediately, and then you get sales from about 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year. People just want to watch you for all that time. There are a lot of different buyers. So what's great about an email newsletter once a week is that person who has been clicking on your newsletter and watching you for a year, all of a sudden they make this huge purchase from you, and you're like, where on earth did you come from? And really, they've been reading your newsletters and loving you for a year. They just take a very long time to make a purchase. And so that's what's so great about having your email, sending out to them, is where on Instagram, they're not buying off of there. They're the very high-hanging fruit, what we say, they're, high-hanging fruit. And so it takes them a long time. They would never buy off of social media. They want to hear from you for a long time inside of their email. And Anne, if you want to go ahead and do our freebie.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and share my screen again. So we went through the capture page, newsletters. So I'll come back to the email and newsletter because there's a second layer to that newsletter idea. But again, like Meredith says, we like GetResponse because you get the capture page functionality, you get the autoresponder functionality, and you get the newsletter functionality all in one package, GetResponse. Other services like Aweber, for example, they don't have capture pages. You have to buy another service that integrates with Aweber so you're paying 2 subscription fees. So that's why GetResponse is cheap. It has everything you need all in the one package, and it's great for beginners, definitely. I mean, Meredith and I have moved on to other packages, and we will teach that within IMU for more advanced learners, but that's the kind of thing we started out with. And when we went to pick what we wanted to recommend, it was GetResponse for sure. So anyway, So I'm using my example of health and wellness, but we could use it, we could talk about, any sort of business. I can come up with another example if we want to after this. But when I started in direct sales, it was a couple years ago, 3 years ago, before I moved into online marketing training with Meredith, is that I was selling a health and wellness product. And so I was considering who my customer avatar was. It was somebody that was wanting to get healthy, lose weight, tighten up skin, whatever, reduce their belly size, was basically the person I was targeting. So then you want to sit and brainstorm, if you were the target customer, or if you're that person that you want to sell to, what piece of information would be helpful to you? So I just pulled up a few of my old lead capture freebies that I collected hundreds of emails with these lead magnets. They're called lead magnets, or a freebie. That I captured hundreds of leads into my email database when I was a direct sales rep. So I was not even selling, I was a direct sales representative. I was not selling my own product. I was selling a larger company's product, but I differentiated myself by creating a capture page, giving away a freebie, and getting people into my newsletter to weave in my products into practical words, basically. So instead of plastering up before and after pictures up on Instagram, I took this approach and was successful at it. I got sales through my website without even talking to the people. They were watching me on Instagram. They were learning about what my products did through my own newsletters and blog posts, which I'll get into the blog posts in a little bit. But so getting back to the freebie, is I was targeting people that wanted to reduce their waist size. And, one of those target customers that I had was a bride, somebody getting ready to get in their wedding dress. So the other thing that I wanted to, the other target customer that I was going for was just simply anybody trying to reduce their waist. So I have an example for a bride target customer, and then just a general woman in her 30s trying to reduce her waist size. So, I got a little more complex with my freebies as I learned more in online marketing. So I just wanted to show you two examples. The first one was the lead capture freebie that I put together for myself. I used a PowerPoint template that I found out on Microsoft PowerPoint and did my Google research. So what I did was I had my capture page through GetResponse or another service like that, and said, went through researching catchy taglines. How would you like to reduce that waist? How would you like to reduce that belly? Pick up your triple threat tummy tightener and learn 3 ways to do that. So doesn't have to be complicated. People, I went out to the top earner in my direct sales company, millionaire, Ambassador Diamond, and downloaded her freebie just to see what she was doing. It was a simple PDF, just like this. It was about getting healthy, same thing, drinking water, doing exercises, whatever. It was the same thing. So this works. This is a simple strategy that works to get people's attention and ultimately get permission to email them. So, I went to the Belly Blaster. That's what I was going for. I was going to go through, the food that you should eat to reduce bloat in your belly, and then added bonus of an exercise to reduce your belly. So I don't have to get into the actual freebie, but I put out, Meredith actually helped me with this way back in the day, a green pineapple smoothie, because pineapple was written about after women who were pregnant, was found that pineapple juice was reducing their bloat in their bellies. So, went out and researched a really popular detox recipe for a pineapple smoothie and put out the recipe. And then a pizza, that wasn't using bread crust. They were doing a cauliflower crust. So, the no carb thing to reduce bloat in the belly included a recipe. The third one was just a plank, and how do you do a plank, and then just a page on instructions on how to do a plank. And then I, call to action at the end. I said, I hope you enjoy this. I want to work with you. Here's my phone number, my email, my websites. Come and like my Facebook page. basically clickable links, sending people off to different traffic sources just to increase my own visibility, but also to give people my contact information if they wanted to learn more. But in essence, this PDF was absolutely free. They came in, gave me their email address on where I could send it, and I gave it to them for free. And in turn, they gave me their email address and gave me permission to communicate with them. And then my other lead freebie that I'm going to show you, this is an actual image, and I did not create this myself. So once I got a little more sophisticated in my knowledge with lead capture pages is I went out to the website Fiverr.com. So I don't know how many people have heard about Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's a website where people offer any and all digital services for $5. Plus, you know, they have add-on $5 gigs, they call them. But basically, you can go out, find a designer, go through their examples, pick out who you like the best, and then tell them what you want to create. So I wanted to create for my target customer account was a bride, and so I wanted to create a free wedding dress workout where it was focusing, you know, on all the areas that show when you're wearing a wedding dress. So, you know, I just came up with exercises, and I literally got these off the internet and just formatted them on my own, and formatted it to be my own, in my own words. And then I worked with the Fiverr contractor to create this image. And then I just attached it to my freebie page. You know, once I got that email address, I sent it to him. So, you know, it was a beautiful infographic. People love infographics. That's a huge trend right now. You know, I sent it out to him. I gave it to him as a free gift for giving me their email address. And we went on from there. So you can either just go and research. It depends on your knowledge and your passion with it. But, you know, create the PDF or create a PowerPoint presentation, save it as a PDF, and that can be your freebie. It doesn't have to be fancy. If, like I said, I got a little excited and wanted to get into more sophisticated things, so I went out to Fiverr. I paid $10 for that, and used it as my freebie and captured, you know, 300 email addresses. It was awesome. So the sky's the limit. The options are endless for freebies. Chances are you're selling something, whether you're creating it yourself, it's definitely your passion. If you're selling it as from a direct sales business, there was something about it that made you want to sell it. That is rule number one in our courses, is that don't sell anything you don't use yourself or that you don't trust yourself, because people will see right through that. So, you know, chances are if you're selling health and wellness items, you know a little something about health and wellness. So, and if you don't know how to verbalize it, go to Google. Google has everything. Throw it on a PowerPoint, pay somebody on Fiverr to do it for you, or, you know, whatever. You don't have to do it yourself. You can get very cheap labor out there. Fiverr.com, again, is what we recommend, or is what I've used myself. I would recommend it myself. And just get something out there. And another piece of advice from Meredith and I is we don't get stuck. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just get something out there. People will take it. Like I said, the top ambassador diamond of my old company had something exactly like that out there, a simple 5-page PDF. You know, it was not anything more fancy than my $5 paid for. So I would just encourage you to think of something tonight and then, you know, go from there. So Meredith already got into the autoresponder. Were you going to go into this some more, or?
Yeah, so let me just,
here.
Yeah, go ahead and stop sharing, and then, there, I did it for you. Yeah, so we're just going to touch on this again, guys. And again, you know, this is how it's in depth, right? This is probably, you know, you're watching the recording of this video, or you're here with us live and you're like, whoa, so this is how people make money on Instagram. This is how people make money on Instagram. This is how I personally, you know, I never had to go back to work after I decided not to work again. This is a step by step system, or I don't it's just what works. I hate the word system because a lot of people use it out there, so I'm hesitant to say it. But this is what we do to pull people off of Instagram. That first page is just, your pretty face out there. Then all of this work happens on the back end. So we had talked about autoresponder before, and I don't want to, take too much of your guys' time tonight going over this, but let's talk about once those emails are sitting in your database. Now remember, GetResponse holds all of those emails until someone unsubscribes from you. So you never have to worry about typing them in and sending them out one by one again. If you have 10 people on your list, it'll send it out to all 10 at one time. If you have 100,000 people on your email list, it will send it out to 100,000 people all at one time. So what you can do is, this is how you use an autoresponder, and this is continued. So lead follow-up and tracking. The lead follow-up sends out your initial information packet instantly. That's your welcome email. That's the very first email they get. And that, again, you write it once, and you leave it in your autoresponder, and you just put a little, you'll see when you're setting it up, it says, send this out immediately. Okay, and then you never have to write it again. That's your welcome. Then you want to use it for lead generation, which is the freebie that Ann just talked about that you give away to potential customers and recruits. You add that call to action to your social media profiles. Remember, we saw Ann at the very end of hers. She said, hey, follow me on Facebook. Call me here, text me there. You would not believe how many people I had texting me my very first months inside of my business, simply because some people want to text a real life person. No one ever called me. Lots of people texted me. So I always had my text information on there. Request more information on my business today, receive that free gift, and then that autoresponder takes over and immediately sends the free gift of information. So what happened was when Ann on her Instagram page said, hey, click this link and you're going to get my belly blaster, the triple threat belly blaster. Someone clicked it, they gave the email. The autoresponder took over because Ann had written her email. She said, hi, I'm Ann DeVito. Attached, you're going to find the PDF of my belly blaster. So immediately, as soon as someone got an email, GetResponse or whatever autoresponder you choose, sent that out to them. So Ann could be taking care of the children. Someone signs up and GetResponse, they took care of it for you. Your freebie has already been sent out to them. No problems on your end. That's why we love autoresponders, because it can be midnight and the autoresponder is working for you. We like this one. Another way to use an autoresponder is you set up customer classes. Set up a series of emails that highlight a product of the month from your product line, or an email class on how to use some of your products. I loved sending out when I had my other, I had a private coaching a while ago, and I had what I was calling TV. And once a week, I would get on and just do a live video while my autoresponder was sending that out to them once a week. It was a training class. So whatever your product is, you can set up that series of emails to go out every Wednesday, where you're highlighting a product of the month. The next week, you're talking about how that product works for this, blah, 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 or an email class. And maybe they can join you on a webinar, which is a whole another ballgame, like what we're doing right now. And then we love contests. You can use your autoresponder to email your list about contests. Deals, that 4-letter word deal. So you set up an email series to your customer base or your downline, and you say, here's a scavenger hunt, go through my catalog that I sent out, or go through my Instagram page and see if you can find this image today. The first person to email me back that found that image gets a free pot, or gets a free sample of the newest shake or whatever. And you can actually have that go out. The contest runs for a week. You just set up all of those emails inside of your autoresponder, and it immediately goes out. Ann's going to talk about the last threat. That's on my mind now from the triple threat. The last, the nail in the coffin for making sales from Instagram, which is a blog if you don't have it yet. So I'm going to let her go over that. And then I'm just going to come back on after that and let you know how, if any of the stuff we went over still is kind of stumping you, not only can you watch the recordings, but then you can also have a chance to talk to us anytime you need to as well. And so we want to cover that. And it is all you. Let me just get out of here.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my, oh, you got to stop sharing? Yep.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and share my screen again.
Perfect.
Hopefully everybody is still following. And I do want to say, only because I have been there myself a couple years ago now, but don't let these tools that we're talking about, GetResponse or the blog, stump you or scare you. They're so easy and so user-friendly. And Meredith will get into it later, but within our courses, within our family, our IMU family, we have all the training videos that show you how to use it, and also the support teams of the actual tools are amazing. So we don't recommend tools that the support is not willing to help, because I've been there where I get on the chat with GetResponse people, why isn't this working? They get right back to me. That's when I'm going to recommend a product, is when somebody is responsive to me, my support needs, as I am to my customers' needs. So moving on, I am just going to talk about the final thing that we wanted to discuss on how to make sales on Instagram. Now, this is what I mentioned before when we were talking about newsletters. You can stop or even just get started as you get your feet wet in this whole process with a weekly newsletter. You don't have to start a blog right away. You can just communicate with your list using a newsletter, especially with GetResponse. Does a beautiful template. It's not just a text email. You can make it look like a website just using your email by having that newsletter feature, and I think it's wonderful. But if you want to take your business to another level, you need a blog. Like, a blog is a way for you to have your own little footprint out on the internet, your own little place. If you're a direct sales representative, of course you get your replicated website to make your sales, but that is basically where your transactions are happening. That's what people are clicking when they want to buy a product. So it's not really your personal site explaining yourself, who you are, what your product can do for them. Let's see. So I was just going to highlight the blog website that we recommend. And this, of course, you've probably been on our website. This is not our website, but I did create a blog using Weebly. It's called Weebly. You've probably heard of it, seen the commercials on TV, Weeble. I will include the link in the PowerPoint that I'm going to be sending out after this. But this is it's a free blog. You can sign up for a free account. It has limited but entirely usable features for the free account. And you can just, stake your claim out on the internet. I have intentionalmarketeruniversity.weebly.com. You can choose, make it beautiful. I chose this theme there. It's just like GetResponse, that you can choose whatever kind of theme that you want to choose that Weebly offers. You can then go create blog posts. And what we were talking about in the newsletter is that you might have these email series where you're telling people to go and do this or that. First of all, you want a blog to be able to communicate to these customers. So within those emails, once you take it to that level, you would provide, the first part of your paragraph and then a link off to the blog post saying, my product of the week is XYZ. Click here to learn practical ways that, it can improve your life. And it brings them out to this webpage. This is number one, where you can communicate in article form. You're not people, when they read emails, they might even make it halfway down your page before they close or they delete, because people are busy and they get tons of emails. So, this is just another step in your sales funnel to get that person that much more interested in you, is getting them out to your blog. So number one, that is, a reason for a blog, is that you can share articles that you might put in your newsletters, but you can just share them on a blog website, because once your blog gets read and gets views and shares, then you're going to become, you do have to upgrade to a paid account to Weebly to be found on Google. That is one of the drawbacks of the free account, but it doesn't necessarily matter because you're going to be sharing these links out on your Facebook page, out on Twitter or Instagram. You can, promote a particular blog post for the week. You can put that link out on your profile if you so choose, just as long as you have a way to gather the email address. Because Meredith and I, of course, did that for our webinar. We put the actual page out in our profile to bring people out there, and then they could sign up from there. We were able to get the email address. We also had a lead capture form there for people that weren't necessarily into the webinar idea, but they did want information from us. So everywhere we send people, we want the email. The email is the holy grail of what you're going for. So getting a blog is the additional step that you're going to take where you're ready to move on past newsletters, you're ready to be found on Google, you're ready to stake your claim out on the internet where you can post helpful articles, helpful things about your industry, about your personal life, about your products, and just have your own website. If you're a direct sales rep, your replicated website is promoting your company. It's not promoting you and Vito. Like our blog is promoting Ann and Meredith. Like we are people. We are coaches. We, share what we've learned. We share industry trends and articles and how-tos out on our blog for anybody to read. And we share out on our social. And with every share and with every view, our search engine optimization, which is another topic for another day, but every view and share makes us go higher on the list with Google. Google is like, hey, Ann and Meredith have a bunch of people reading their stuff. They must know what they're talking about. People are trusting them. We're considered a trusted website. And, that's the reason. So let's say that you're a direct salesperson for, I'll just use Tupperware or Mary Kay or something like that. It's like there's a million Mary Kay reps. Somebody's interested in buying, mascara from Mary Kay. If you have a blog that you've been tending to and gotten ranked or, built in a way that you can be found, like, Mary Kay Mascara, Michigan, then I'm going to come back and say, I've got the mascara here in Michigan, give me a call. Like that's for, people searching in Google for your product. Of course, your company will probably come up first, but you don't want to buy. Most people want to talk to somebody. They want to buy from a person. Like way back years ago, I wanted to buy some Avon, and before blogging became a big deal, I just went and put in my location to find a Grand Rapids representative. But it's like, it would have been nice to meet some of these people out on their websites when gotten some value from them before I chose somebody like, the mascara company. If you are looking to try that mascara, you're going to want to see videos of how it works. How do you apply it? How is it going to work for me? If I Google that and find a YouTube video of putting it on and showing me how to put on this new type of mascara, I'm going to buy it from that person. She's shown me how to do it. She's given me the valuable information I need to make my purchase. So your replicated websites, okay, we got 10 minutes. Your replicated websites are not doing this. That is just where you make the sale, make the transaction. That's where you put in your credit card number. That's not where you're delivering information and value to your customers. So that's our last point. I want Meredith to have her 10 minutes to talk. I just had the back end of the blog up. It's just simply maintaining it within the back end. So easy. Like I said when I just came back on, is don't get scared of this technology. It's made for users. It's made to be easy. It's made to be, a snap. So with that, I'm going to leave it with Meredith. Just wanted to get that plug in that, of course, we have tons of videos within our courses to teach people how to use these tools. But I do also want to tell you that if you do it on your own, they're easy. So don't get scared.
Yeah, it's so funny. We tested this like a couple days ago. This is the first time using actual Zoom. We usually use Google Hangouts. Everything was fine, and now we're like getting these 10-minute warnings each time. So
the number of participants.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyways,
we got to end in 9.
Yep. So what I want to tell you guys before we end right now is that we have a private Facebook group. Okay. So if anything we went over today is like, I really want more help from Meredith and Ann, what we want you to do, and Ann's going to send this out in the video, is you have a couple different options. We do have an Instagram. I was going to pull it up, but I'm just going to tell you, we have an Instagram bundle course. And you can actually, just for being a webinar attendee tonight, we'll give you $20 off of that course. And it's 4 full-length courses, which are normally $37 each. And they're all around everything you need to know, what we just went over for Instagram. So Ann will put that link plus the coupon code into the email with our MP4 video recording. So you're going to get 2 of those. Then what that also does is that's going to get you 30 days free inside of our Facebook group. I love to think of our Facebook group as the classroom. So every single day, either Ann and I are always on, and we'll post to the Facebook group, hey, we're live in office hours. I think that's nice. I like the way that sounds. We're live in office hours. Get on your messenger, get on whatever you need to do. Get a hold of me. I'm here to answer all your questions. So that's where you get one-on-one live, literal. I just sit here, I'm working, but I'm in my home office, Ann is too, and we answer all of your questions. Okay, so either do that through the Instagram bundle, which you'll see. We'll send you the link for that, so you can get those 4 full-length courses plus your coupon to get $20 off of that. Or you can always, if you just want to try out Intentional Marketer University and get access to, how many courses do we have now? Like 50 courses? We have 50 online courses, and that is at $99 a month. That gets you full access to the entire university. Again, that is all included with our Facebook group, so you get access to us literally 24 hours a day. You just post what you need help with. You get to talk to all the other students, what they're doing. It's really our think tank. It's our university setting. So we didn't want to let the night end without giving you guys access to those. So check those out in your email. Please email us. If you don't get into the Facebook group through either one of those channels, email us with your questions, whether you're watching live or if you're watching the recording that we just sent you. Let us know. That's why we're here. Ann and I have been on the other side where we were brand new. Everything we're talking about now that seems like old hat to us, boy, yeah. It didn't always. So that's why we did, that's why we developed IMU, is because we know what works, and we're tired of watching people kind of try and do it on their own with a lot of different stuff out there. We just want to see you guys make profit. That's all it is for us. We want to see you guys make profit. It's really, once you've been on the other side, you feel a certain sense of loyalty to other people who are trying to make it in this crazy big online marketing world. And what's great about it, and everything we always say, is that right now you can be a really small fish in a huge pond, but starting to use these techniques, you grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get more of a presence. So all of a sudden you're a big fish in a big pond because you're doing stuff, little steps each day that are getting you found on the internet. So that's what all of our courses are for. I think that's a good place to stop. Ann, would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So just reply to any of our emails. We get those. If you have any questions, think about what Meredith just went over, and just leave you with, this is how it's done. On the surface, you see people posting on Instagram, making it big. Well, there's some work on the back end. It's not hard, but you do put in the effort, and that's how you get the sales and how you become successful. So I hope that this was valuable to you, and that all of you were able to get your encyclopedia. We wanted to put that together so you did feel like you were getting additional value to this webinar. So look for an email from me tonight, including all of those things Meredith went over. For those of you that were not previously subscribed, you will be receiving our IMU Welcome series that we referred to. So we'll just, we'll get you into our email where you can get you'll get your first blog post tomorrow. I'm going to put you into that series, and then hopefully those blog posts are valuable to you. Hopefully you found value in this webinar and in our blog posts. And of course, please let us know if you have any questions or comments. We were happy to do this tonight. Wish all of you a great night, and we will talk to you soon. So,
Bye, everyone. Night.